Hello, beautiful. This is Debra. I hope everybody's having a beautiful Tuesday today. I have been feeling inspired to go Facebook Live for a few days, but I've been a little bit shy and a little bit nervous. But here I am. I'm going to talk a little bit, and then we can do a prayer together. We can do an affirmative prayer. So what I want to talk about is just the past week since the solar eclipse and how the energy has been really intense. I'm not sure if this resonates for you, but for a lot of people that I've been talking with, the week has been really energetically intense for you, for a lot of sensitive healer type people. And I know for myself, on the day of the eclipse, I had a totally amazing day, an amazing night before, an amazing morning. And I was super high and just off of the energies. My meditation was amazing. And then the energy kind of crashed and burned for me. And I just want to be real, because I know that I tend to be one of those people who comes on social media with a lot of positivity, but I think it's important for us to embrace the emotional stuff and the shadow stuff and the stuff that's hard, that's not easy. I just want to acknowledge that that you're not alone, that most everyone I talk to has had an intense week. I know for me, oh my gosh, I've been working on this book, and I thought I was going to launch it on the eclipse, and it's just taken all week, and I'm still working on it, and it's not done. And it's just taken longer, and that's been one thing. Another is, I had this conscious uncoupling a couple of months ago, and my life has been moving forward. But this past week, the past couple of weeks, I've been grieving. I've been crying. I've been emotional. Doesn't mean that my life isn't moving forward, and it doesn't mean that, the expansion is there, but it's important to feel, and it's important to grieve, and it's important to cry. So I just wanted to be real. A lot of people I know, there's people that I've been talking to, and clients, affirmative prayer clients and card reading clients. I did some readings the other day at Yogalution for Jay Brave and Shyla Ray's show. I had a little table, and I was doing sessions and just feeling like, a lot of people need to be real. They need someone they can really share with and talk to. And there's people I know that are going through, people in their life making transition into the spirit realm right now. And I don't know, I just want to be real about it. That's it. I just want to come here and be real. And I want to say too that I think sometimes we can blame ourselves. We can blame ourselves. We feel like we're going crazy. We feel like we can't fucking do it. We can't fit into the culture, to the society. We can't. And I just want to remind myself and you that it's not our fault. That we live in a culture which is, it's damaged. It's not healthy in a lot of ways, right? Like, for instance, I come from the Jewish culture, and when people die in the Jewish culture, they do this thing called sitting Shiva. Does anybody, I bet some of you know. It's called sitting Shiva. So what it means is that the person, like, let's say that my husband died, right? Everyone would come over to my house for, I can't remember how many days it is, but I think it's like maybe a week or two. Maybe somebody can chime in on exactly how many days, but they come and they sit with you, and they make sure that you are never alone, that you're always surrounded with people, so you're not by yourself crying, right? You're with 7 days. Yeah, thank you, Brandon. Yeah, for 7 days, you're not alone. Like, people come to your house, they bring food, they you don't even have to talk, but they just come sit with you and make sure that you know that you have community around you. And it's the same thing with, like, the women's red tent movement, right? Like, how many women are often just, experiencing their cycle alone, when we really are meant to be in community and support one another and be like rubbing each other's back and crying together and sharing and getting our truths out, right? Which that's what it's all about, is during that time, just expressing our real truth. and coming together. And yeah, it's like we can blend in, but we never fit in. I mean, I have been feeling it this week. I've been feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I don't fit in, right? I'm like struggling in this culture because I feel like there's emotions coming up, and I want to be surrounded with people when I process them. And that was very much the case for me when I was traveling in Bali last month. It was like feelings were coming up, but there were always people around. And I'm finding that being back in California or the US, I don't know if it's LA or what it is, but I'm like really feel like we need that community. I know I need it. And then when I'm doing sessions for other people and I'm doing the affirmative prayer for them and I'm doing the life coaching for them, they need it. Like, we need to be real. And another thing that's been coming up for me is just no matter how out there and crazy you might feel, it's so important for us to be fully self-expressed. Like, whatever your interest is, even if it feels fucking out there and crazy, like, we really need to be exactly who we are. That's our soul's purpose. That's what's going to heal us physically as well, is just being that full expression of ourselves. Angie was just talking about the cycle concept with Chrissy yesterday. Yeah, I'm just feeling it, and I just want to get on here and share that you're not alone, you're not crazy. We are sane people living in a crazy world, not crazy people living in a sane world. And it's all about us to create the culture that we really want to see. So one thing that I'm passionate about is ritual. I'm still a work in progress, so I know that there are ways that I can create more ritual in my community. And Angie gave some like alien faces. But my book, Open-Eyed, Heart-Wide Haggadah, that I wrote for Passover, is all about coming together in community and creating ritual. And I just feel like we need more of those spaces. And also, I really feel like we need spaces where we can scream, where we can be emotional, where we can let it all out in a safe, contained way. Things like breath work or ecstatic dance or authentic movement, they're so important for us. It's so important that we let it out. And I know that spiritual people like us, we get so caught, and of course it's beautiful, the law of attraction and thinking positive, and yes, of course we want to do that. We want to give that ultimately like more energy. We want to give our vision always more energy than the problem, always, right? Even in this political stuff, like, yes, to go there and to feel it and to do our activism, but ultimately to hold the vision. So, and I want to say that we also need to feel our feelings, and that's so real and important. And especially if you're going through something, if you're grieving, or if someone's dying, or if you went through a breakup, or whatever it is, it's so important to let those things out, because the more we let them out, if we hold them in, it gets stuck in our body, right? And that can cause like disease, and it's just, the more that we can let those things out, the faster it's going to move through. So, oh my goodness, hi Patango, hi Melissa, yay, Angie. So anyway, I just wanted to, again, I'm sharing that I want to acknowledge that this week has been intense for a lot of people. It's been intense. A lot of emotions are coming up, a lot of deep processing. And yes, you know, the eclipse was all about transforming and transmuting and eclipsing and rising into like this next level of ourselves, but it's got this underbelly of all the emotional stuff coming out. So it's called therapy. Yes, it's good. It's good to go to therapy. It's so good. So it's a balance, right? Because yes, we want to think positive, and yes, we want to do our affirmations, but it's also so important to just give ourselves a space to feel our feelings. If there's a place you can go where you can be loud, even where you could scream, where you could cry, you know, to give yourself that that space. So anyway, I wanted to, of course, send love. I know that there was some crazy shit in Charlottesville, and there's some crazy shit in Houston, and there's, you know, just things that are going on in our personal lives. So I just wanted to, I wanted to say a prayer. I want to say a prayer for honoring ourselves exactly as we are. So here we go. I'm going to do my little affirmative prayer. So what affirmative prayer is it's a cross between prayer and a positive affirmation. It shifts energy. And, oops, I'm getting all these little message pop-ups. So I'm going to do a prayer right now. So I'm so grateful and thankful for this chance to come together, for this chance to be in community and to support one another and be with one another and to connect on a real level. I know that there is one power in the universe. This power, we can call it God, Goddess, Spirit, Creator, wisdom, intelligence, beauty, grace, love. We can call this power absolute harmony and peace and justice and creativity and wealth and abundance. I know that there is this one power, this cycle of life, this absolute beauty and love, this intelligence, this field of infinite possibility. And I know that I am one with this power. I am one with this absolute love of the divine, this grace, this peace, this wholeness, this wellness, this abundance, this prosperity. I know that I am one with this grace and this magic and this beauty and glory and love. And just as I know this is true for me, I know it is absolutely true for you watching this video right now. I know that you are absolutely connected into the divine right order of things. I know that you are always connected to the greater whole and you are never separate from this power. That I know that this divine intelligence lives in, as, and through your very existence, your very life, your very well-being. I know that you are always connected. You are never alone. You are never separate. You are always guided and led and shown the way and loved unconditionally. I know this to be true for you. So remembering these truths, remembering this anchoring, I am simply calling in right here and right now a quantum healing, a quantum wholeness, a remembering of who and what we really are. Divine children of Goddess, Spirit, Creator. A remembering of the absolute love that we have for ourselves, the absolute acceptance, and the absolute giving to ourselves of exactly what we desire and need and deserve. I'm calling forth a healing and a wholeness of the spirit, that any overwhelm and stress and not feeling safe is dissolved right now into the nothingness from which it came, and calling forth safety for you watching, for all the people in Houston with the floods, for all the people that are having these experiences and dialogues around race and Charlottesville and all of the things that have been happening in our collective, calling forth absolute wholeness and peace and safety and divinity for each and every person right here and right now. And just simply shedding any of the feelings of not enoughness, of not feeling safe, of not feeling connected, of not feeling loved, of not feeling taken care of. So we're just releasing those into the nothingness from which they came. And all that is left is absolute wholeness and oneness and peace. All that is left is grace and beauty and love. This is what I know to be true. Just holding hands with one another and being in this collective healing, this collective unity and peace and gratitude and oneness. This is what I hold to be true: justice and peace and right action right here and right now. That all that who feel unsafe may be safe right with these words spoken and taken care of right here and right now. So I'm so grateful for this chance to pray, to do affirmative prayer. I'm so grateful for the chance to connect with you here on social media and hopefully in real life too, where we can hug and see each other and look into each other's eyes. I'm so grateful to know each and every one of you. And I'm grateful for the courage that it took for me to go live like this and to share what's real, some of the shadow work, and blessing the shadow work as well as the light. So again, I'm just so grateful to know that wholeness is here right now, that healing is here right now for each and every person who seeks wholeness. I simply release this prayer into the universe, knowing that it is done, it is done, it is done. Blessing everyone watching and blessing myself and you and all of us And I release this prayer into the universe knowing it is already done, and time is simply catching up to the wholeness and peace that we feel right here and right now. So release this prayer, simply saying, and so it is. Amen. Aww. Hi, Danica. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Philip. Hi, Liz. Oh my goodness. Does anybody need anything right now? I just have been talking and doing this prayer, and my lighting is it was really pretty lighting, but now the lighting's a little weird, and so it is. And so it is. So just giving us a chance that we can be real and feel our feelings and cry if we need to, and get support if we need to, and get a hug and be in circle and be in community if we need to, and that we don't have to always pretend that everything is positive and perfect. That I feel that this week a lot of people I know have been going into the shadow and experiencing different emotions, and just diving in and allowing them to be expressed and to just come out, and that's part of the healing, right? So anyway, I love you guys so much. I hope you're having a beautiful Tuesday. I want to remind everyone that even though you might know me as a chef, I'm actually trained and certified from Agape Spiritual Center as an affirmative prayer warrior. So I'm still doing sessions if anybody wants a private one. It's 15 minutes for $44, and we'll do it on video. We'll do it on Skype or Facebook video. And it's 30 minutes for $75. And the price is going to go up, but right now it's that. And I also want to remind you I'm a life coach, and I'm a card reader. I do Doreen Virtue. I'm really into the Goddess deck. I'm really into Ascended Masters. I have a really playful one, Mermaids and Dolphins, that I love to read from. Oh, yay, Danica. Thank you. I love doing affirmative prayer. I seriously love it. I am like, I'm feeling called right now, actually. I don't know if any of you guys are going through something similar, but I've been doing food for so many years, for about 16 years professionally, and I don't think it's ever gonna go away. I'm like, been working on my book, and it's almost out. It's been taking a little bit longer to polish up than I thought, but it's almost done. And but I'm really feeling called right now to really offer affirmative prayer, and to offer life coaching, and to offer holistic health coaching. I'm really, I'm recognizing for me, just practicing a little self-love. I think one of my gifts really is I'm able to hold space for people. Like, nothing is too much for me. You can cry, you can scream, you can be however you're going to be, and we can go there. And I love to just hold space for authenticity. Aww, thank you. And what else was I going to say? I also see potential. That's another one of my gifts. Like, I really see the best in people, and I see potential in people, and that is one of my gifts as well. And so I'm just feeling right now like we all kind of need that space where we can be real. And, Marcella! Marcella was my affirmative prayer, one of my affirmative prayer teachers from Agape. We really need that space right now where we can be real, and we can be held in our highest light, and we can be seen for who we really are. So I'm here, and I'm so happy to help, and I'm so happy to give and serve, and be in this conversation of authenticity, really letting our authentic selves shine, and being who we really are, even if we feel like that makes us not fit in, or it makes us like feel weird, or we're not, like, we can't fit into society. We just have to really be like, why else were we born here, but if not to be who we truly authentically are, and to be in touch with our truth, and to not blame ourselves if we feel like we're suffering because the society we live in is a little bit fucked up. I'm sorry, I'm using language. But we're the ones who are perfect and whole and complete. And when we're feeling like we're not, it's because we're living in a culture which doesn't honor our beauty and our truth and our collective nature, and whatever it is, our race, our gender, our sexuality. It's because of the culture. It's not because of us. And so to take that blame off of ourselves and to just love ourselves, and to know that we are here to create the world that we want to see, the rituals and the community spaces and the honoring of different cultures and different races and different sexual orientations and all of that, different religions, and just to create that world where everyone is honored and where we do get our needs met, and where we do live in community and support one another, and we don't have to go through this shit alone. I'm swearing a lot, but I just spent 2 weeks deeply in that space. It's cool to be reminded. Yes, right, because you just went to a training, right? Like a retreat. I feel that. You know, my book, my recipe book, it's called Retreat Recipes for Yoga Lovers, and all the recipes were created while I was catering yoga retreats. And I know it can be like that for us sometimes, right? Where we'll go to a festival, or we'll go to a retreat, or we'll go to a workshop, and we have this experience of being like deeply embedded in community and supported. And there's people all, for me, it was in Bali. When I went to Bali, I felt like I was just surrounded in community constantly. I never had to do anything alone unless I wanted to. And it was a beautiful feeling. And then we come home, right? And we have to like reintegrate and figure out, you know, how we can take those experiences and bring them into our lives now. So, and I'm still figuring it all out along with you. But I know that it sucks to have to do things alone. And I know that it can be helpful to have support. And I just want you to know I'm here to support you if you decide that you are interested in doing like an affirmative prayer session or a life coaching session or card reading. I'm like so feeling that right now to offer that. I really am, because I just love being in the presence of truth and to shine light on who you really are, your absolute greatness and your potential. So, oh my goodness. So does anybody have any topics or questions? I feel like we have some people watching, so I want to continue, but I feel like I've been talking for so long that I feel like I ran out of things to say. But yeah, I don't know. Can anybody resonate with any of this? What has it been like for you after the eclipse? Your week, has it been amazing? Has it been hard? Has it been a mixture? Like, if you want to share, you can. Oh, hi Hannah! Yay! I know all you local people are we're gonna have to get together and be together in community, because that's what it's all about. That's what time it is. It's time to be authentic and be real and let the feelings out and be in community and get support. So I love you all so much, and I'm over here working on my book and working with my clients, and I had so much fun at Yogalution on Saturday night at Jay Brave and Shyla Ray and Zaire Black's show, and I was doing card readings and affirmative prayer and life coaching sessions there, and it was freaking awesome. And the experience kind of inspired me to do this Facebook Live, just to be real and to hold a space where you can be your authentic self and get the support that you need and share, like to really spill it out. So that's what I love to hold space for. And then transmute it and transform it and see your absolute greatness. But we have to, sometimes we can't gloss over everything with a positive affirmation, even though positive affirmations are awesome. And I'm all about the law of attraction and manifestation and all of that. But sometimes we really have to just let the feelings out first and just kind of like lay out the cards on the table, like just lay it all out. And then we can take it up and we can transform and we can find a solution. But if we're constantly like stuffing it down and just holding it all together, or, you know, feeling angry, but underneath is sadness and grief, I'm not sure that that's totally serving us. I know that we have to do it sometimes because we have like our jobs and our kids and our obligations. But if you can give yourself like a time and a space, maybe it's taking a bath or going to a yoga class or getting a massage or getting an affirmative prayer session or a life coaching session or a card reading session, or you can just like let yourself just lay it all out. It's so important to do that and to like really know what we're actually dealing with. before we can transform it and transmute it and create something positive. So if you have been watching and you live close to me, I would love to hug you in person. Hannah and whoever else is, Angie and whoever else has been watching. And I'm going to give everyone just maybe 20 more seconds if you want to share anything in the comments, if you have any questions, if you have any requests, if you have a prayer request for something right now on video here on Facebook Live. Otherwise, I might sign out for now. But I love you so much. And this week has been intense for me. It has been intense. I've been grieving a lot, my relationship. I've been grieving. And I've been working on my book, which was supposed to be out a week ago, and it's been taking longer. So I've had like these little things, you know, these little things that have come up. And I know that other people in my life have had things coming up this week too. So I just wanted to be real and for you to know that you're not alone and it's not your fault, and that we're living, you know, we're like healthy, whole, beautiful beings living in an unhealthy, unwhole world, you know, in certain ways. And whatever, you are living love. Marcella, I love you so much. Marcella taught me so much about affirmative prayer when I took the prayer warrior class at Agape and got certified in affirmative prayer. Marcella was like holding my hand, and we had to like write papers, like, kind of, but they were prayers. We would like type them out, and then Marcella would like correct them, you know, like being in high school or college. It was like we had to like turn in our prayers, and Marcella was so helpful. Oh, yay. I know it is wild. I know the Eclipse energy is wild. I don't know if anyone, I mean, if you feel like sharing, go for it. I don't know what other people have been going through, but just people I know, it's like we're grieving relationships, we're dealing with like deaths in our families, we're dealing with just our shadow stuff coming up. And it's so important to be real about it and to let the feelings out. And I just know that, you know, I guess I'll come clean. I haven't really been very active on social media this week because I think I was waiting until it all kind of passed, all the stuff that was coming up, for me to like post and be active again in community. But what if we were to show up anyway, to show up in the midst of our grief, in the midst of our frustration, in the midst of our pain, and just be, right? Yeah, spiritual divorce with your friend, Philip. It's intense. There's definitely been for me too, like some major cord cutting has been happening this week. And, you know, just we're here together. And, you know, my vision really, it's like I'm definitely an in-person person and an in-person community person. And I just love to really be eye to eye and face to face with people, and to like dance it out and breathe it out and scream it out and cry it out and hug it out and just be real. So anyway, I love you, Endalea. I wish you were here. I wish you were here next to me. And hi, Marnie. Yay. So you guys, I've been talking for a while, but just wanting to acknowledge that the energy's been intense. You're not the only one. A lot of people have been having an intense week. And I'm here to support you with affirmative prayer and life coaching and holistic health coaching sessions. I work virtually. I love doing video sessions and phone sessions. So we could do Skype or Facebook video. And I'm really feeling this call right now. I feel like the universe, I guess I'm just talking about myself for a minute, but I feel like the universe is really calling me into what I call my ancient priestess, which, I don't know, maybe that's a little bit of an appropriation, but that's what the word I'm using, ancient priestess. Aw, me, thank you, Endalea. I like feel like if you were sitting here, we would just be like drinking tea and laughing and like giving each other a hug and just hanging out like we always do. So, what was I going to say? Oh my gosh, I forget what I was saying. I don't remember. But anyway, oh yeah, about sessions and stuff. So I'm here. I'd love to support people. And oh yeah, I feel like the universe is calling me into this like next level of my offerings. So I've been doing food for 16 years, and food is so amazing. It definitely, when you start eating healthy, it can actually fuel your creativity. It can fuel your sense of spirituality. It can actually like help you to become more authentic because you're not like stuffing down with like unhealthy foods, and it kind of like opens up your chakras, like your energy when you start eating healthier, so that it's like almost impossible not to be authentic, and it's almost impossible like not to be creative, and it's almost impossible not to feel spiritual and connected, because it like the foods literally become our cells and change our bodies. And so I've been working on this book. It's almost done. It's called Retreat Recipes for Yoga Lovers: Vegetarian, Vegan, and Raw Recipes from Around the World. It's over 100 recipes, almost 150 pages. It's all illustrated, and it has been taking me a little bit longer, but it's almost done. It's an ebook. So I'm really excited to offer it to you. And I'm also really excited about offering these sessions. Like, I felt so amazing on Saturday when all I was doing was card readings and prayer and coaching. It was like amazing. I love to hold space for people like that. So if you need support, if you want to talk to someone, if you have some kind of whatever it is, it could be relationship stuff, it could be career stuff, it could be health stuff, you know, I'm trained. I went to, like a lot of life coaches didn't go to school, but I went to LifeWorks School of Coaching. I did a 9-month training. I went to Institute for Integrative Nutrition and did a 1-year training. So I am certified in life coaching, holistic health coaching, and in affirmative prayer from Agape Spiritual Center. So anyway, I don't know what else. I feel like silly now that I've been talking so long. I feel like you guys need to start talking. What else? Hi, Lauren. Being ourselves, loving ourselves, forgiving ourselves, and knowing that we are whole and complete as we are. And we simply live in a world that is still growing and learning to accept, honor, embrace, and support our uniqueness. So I love you all. I am with you all. You are not alone. You are not the only one suffering or going through a challenging week. Many, many people, almost everybody I talk to is. So I'm here with you. You're not alone. You're awesome. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have to feel bad if you don't feel like you fit in. You don't have to feel bad if you feel like you're not getting the support you need, because it's time for us to create that support. It's time for us to create that culture and that society that really can embrace and love and support each and every one of us. So have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday, and I love phone calls. I love visits in person, and so hit me up, message me or comment or just call me up. I love you so much. Yay. Does anybody else have anything? I think I'm just going to close it out. Anybody else have anything, like questions or requests or sharing about what you've been going through? Oh, cool. I was in your dream, Philip. That's awesome. I'm so excited that you got to do that training. Philip just did a cool healing training on the East Coast. And those kind of spaces are so fun when we get to do like trainings and retreats and workshops and festivals. And it's like these little micro experiences of what our culture could really be like all the time, right? But it's also really important to have conscious communication too. That's what comes up when you really do live with people and when you really do spend time in community, is that it's important to communicate. Because when you are by yourself, you can kind of avoid people or avoid situations. But when you are in community, you can't avoid people. Like when I was 22, I think. Was it 22? I think I was 22, 21 or 22. I lived in different intentional communities. And I lived at this place called Dancing Rabbit Eco Village. It's in Missouri. And since I was there, they've gotten more exposure, like they've been on TV. But there were only at the time maybe like 25 people living there, and we all lived together, worked together, ate together. Like, I shared a room with like 4 people, and we couldn't avoid, and we were in the middle of nowhere, and it was beautiful, right? Because I was like building these like straw bale and cob houses and learning about organic gardening, and it was like all these amazing people and friendships, friends that I still have to this day, like my best friends that I met there. But we couldn't avoid each other. We had to actually deal with each other and deal with communication. And so the way that they did that at Dancing Rabbit, I learned so much from my experience, was they had meetings. They had business meetings, and they also had what they called interpersonal meetings. And and it was structured. It was like I believe it was every week was the business meeting, and I think it might have been once a month was the interpersonal meeting. And so you can't avoid conflict, and you can't avoid people, and you can't just like go off into the city and not see someone, because you're just going to see them. So it was all about how to communicate in a conscious, loving way, and to get all the potential conflict stuff out into the open. So in the business meetings, that's kind of like obvious. They would talk about, okay, who's doing the garden this week, and we need to paint the shed, and like these are the projects, and cooking the meals. And the interpersonal meeting would be like, Philip, I need to talk about our relationship. When you were making the potatoes the other night, and you said that this and that about me, like I felt hurt, or whatever, like, and they would talk about this shit. It was crazy. Like at the time I was like, oh my God, it was so taboo to me to like actually talk about that stuff, but I learned so much about how to do it. And then when it came time, like years later, I lived in a community house, actually helped start a community house in Atlanta called the Herald House. And I brought those techniques to the Herald House. Like we did the business meetings and the interpersonal meetings. And I was all gung-ho about the interpersonal meetings. And then one time somebody brought up an issue they had with me. And it was really funny, because here I was thinking I was all, oh, let's have these meetings and talk. And then it was like really freaking hard for me when somebody had an issue with me, and I had to be in the meeting and hear about it and work about it, right? Yeah. So anyway, I'm learning a lot about communication. It's something that I've been feeling like I might want to teach, actually, to do like an online class or something. Because, I don't know, do you all know about nonviolent communication? I was sharing this with a client that it's in 3 parts, right? So the first part is like an observation. So you would say, so in nonviolent communication, hi Susan, hi Natasha. In nonviolent communication, okay, let's say that you ran over my bicycle with your car, and I'm really angry, right? And you haven't like apologized yet. Okay, you haven't even acknowledged that you did it. So let's say that happened. So instead of being like, fuck you, you ran over my bike, and you haven't even acknowledged that you're like, you won't even fess up to it, right? Like, I'm mad. So that would be like the normal way that I would communicate, right? Like, or if I was angry. But in nonviolent communication, I would say, you say when X happened. So it's like an objective, not a subjective. So it's like something that actually happens, an observation with no feelings attached. So you could say, when I went outside and I saw that my bike, had been run over, and I saw, your car tire right there, next to it. Okay, that's the feeling. And then you say, I felt Y. Like, when X happened, I felt Y. So when I saw the bike, and I saw the car, and I watched it happen, I noticed that I felt angry and upset and really devastated and sad too, and like kind of depressed a little bit, So maybe you say that, right? So and then the third step is and then what you can say too, if you wanted to add something to that, instead of like, because normally maybe I'd say, oh, I felt, angry and upset because you ran over my car and you didn't even tell, like, then I would go all into it, right? But instead, one thing I learned from one workshop that I went to was you say, I'm making up a story that. So I was making up a story that I learned this from the Cafe Gratitude people when I went to Kindred Spirits workshop they do. Anyway, so I could say like, I felt, angry, and I noticed that I was making up a story that, that you didn't want to apologize, or that you were trying to hide that it happened from me. I noticed that I was making up a story that you were hiding, or that you didn't want to say, so if you notice that like, I don't know, it just lands better with people when you can say that, like, I'm making up a story that. And then at the end you make a request. So you can make a request. You say, so I would love to make a request. I'd love to make a request that, would you be willing to apologize? I'd love to make a request that you could, just tell me what really happened. And if it did, and if it was really you that ran over the bike, if you wouldn't mind, I would love for you to get it repaired, or to buy me a new bike, right? So you can make a request, and then the person, they can say yes or no. Like in one of the workshops I did, we were like with a romantic partner and making a request, like, I'd like to request that you like give me a full body massage for 5 hours tomorrow, right? Or something like that. Like, you could just be outrageous. And then the person can actually own whether they say yes or no. So like, you don't have to say yes just because somebody requests, right? I could just put something outrageous, like, I would like to request a 5-hour massage, like in 1 hour from now, right? And then the person can say yes or no. They could say, thank you for making that request. My answer is no, And so to practice that, because I think some of us, we always want to say yes. Or we feel like we have to say yes, or it's hard to say no. So like, just practicing making requests. You can make outrageous requests if you want, and like saying yes or saying no to them. Or making a counter request, like, okay, no, I can't give you, I'm saying no to 5-hour massage, but I have an idea for you. Like, how would you feel about a 1-hour massage or a 20-minute massage? I could do that, on Wednesday, and then you could say yes or no. So yes, loving nonviolent communication, and Delea, learning this technique in a negotiation training. Sounds simple, but it's really powerful. Because I think, here's the thing, a lot of us, like, we feel isolated, right? We're on social media, we're looking for community, we're looking to connect, but it doesn't really give us a real connection. There was some study about how, like, texting versus a phone call, it does different things to the brain. So let's say if I was sad and I just, all I wanted was to like talk to a friend. If I'm texting with a friend, it's not going to affect my relaxation. Is it the sympathetic? I can't remember if it's sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system. But anyway, my nervous system is not going to calm down from a text. But if I were to get a phone call and hear the person's voice, they could say the same exact words, but suddenly it's going to relax my nervous system. They've done like studies on it. So if you're just typing, it doesn't do anything. But if you actually hear a voice or you see a face, it then relaxes your nervous system. So I thought that was really interesting. And I feel like a lot of us were like, okay, we're getting to this time. It's like, Donald Trump's not going to save us. He's not going to save Houston. Like, we got to do it ourselves, and we got to come together in community. And we all want community, and we want to live with other people, and we don't want to be so isolated, and we don't want to be so alone. But at the same time, we don't have the communication skills yet, or we're still learning. A lot of us don't, to really make it work. So I think a big part of living in community and being in community and not being isolated and not being alone is that when a conflict happens, like right now, it's like if I have, like on my Facebook, right, I've got like 2,000 friends, let's say, or I think maybe more, right? So, and they say that like in a, I forget what the thing is, but something about like in an actual like tribal culture, a person can't actually handle more than 200 or 300 connections. Like, anything beyond that, it's too much for like the human mind to comprehend or to handle. Like we can only handle, I can't remember what the number was, but it was 200 or 300. So what's happening now is like we have so many friends that if like a conflict happens or we aren't getting along, we can just run away. We can block the person, we can delete the person, we never have to talk to the person, we never have to see them. But to really be in community, it's about actually having those conversations, and even if they're uncomfortable, and like to not run away. Like that's what actually creates the real community. Like when we think about living in like an eco village or an intentional community, that's what creates it. So anyway, I guess I just went on a rant. Anyway, all right. I think that's it. Does anybody else have anything? We've been talking for a long ass time, and I've been swearing today. I guess that's just the eclipse. Anyway, I love you all so much. I hope this has inspired you to maybe have a conscious communication with someone in your life, to create more community, to own your feelings. Look up Nonviolent Communication. It's a great book by Marshall Rosenberg. There's another great book called Kindred Spirits by Terces and Matthew Engelhart, where they talk about making requests and saying things like, oh, I'm making up a story, that can be really great communication techniques. So, all right, I guess I'm gonna go. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. And feel free to continue to comment if you have like more topics that you want to discuss next time, or you have a request for an affirmative prayer that we can do on Facebook Live. Just let me know. And I'm wishing us all just a smooth and graceful and easy rest of our week. And may all the pieces come into place. And may all that we desire and all that is for our highest and best good flow with effortless ease and absolute grace. And may we all be held in the arms of the divine, guided and protected with loving spirits, angels, ancestors, and beauty and light all around us. Knowing that we are always safe, we are always held, we are absolutely holy and divine beings. We are here for a reason, and we are so loved and so needed for exactly our authentic truth and our authentic selves. So, I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, message me or call me or come visit me. I love people and I love community, and let's stay connected and know that we never have to do this alone, and that we're always loved. So, mwah. Bye for now.